USDA, we're part of continuous improvement. We're here at Carl Bednarski's farm and brought in many of his neighbors that represent a lot of the diversified crops in Michigan. We talked about the dry bean, edible bean group. We talked about soybeans. We talked about dairy. We talked about beef. And we talked about other types of sugar beets, certainly. And Michigan is a very diverse type of agriculture, many crops. And what I heard was a lot of gratitude regarding USDA listening to them, changing and improving programs that met their needs. That's what we want to do. That's one of the reasons I come out, is to hear directly from farmers. We get good advice from our congressional members that represent their constituents, but there's nothing like hearing it firsthand. And I think farmers also appreciate the fact that they get directly to speak to the Secretary of Agriculture. You know, farmers, they're pretty direct people. They like face-to-face engagements there. And that's one of the reasons we come out. And I've been in Michigan several times, and we're here again to hear directly from farmers. We believe China is serious about following up on their Phase 1 agreements. I think the most things that I have as an encouragement about that, there were about 57 different items that we listed that were problems from a sanitary, phytosanitary. There are little rules there. They were just harassment type of things. And we've resolved 50 of those 57, which tell me they are preparing and we're serious about living up to that. I don't know whether or not we'll reach that strong number that we had for 2020 or not in light of the pandemic and other kind of issues like Hong Kong and those kind of things that sort of affect trade. But I can tell you in the last 2 months, they have really been stepping up, and the exports are just accelerating exponentially from beans and corn perspective, as well as other things. So we hope that it will, and the things, the sales that are on the books look very promising. So we're happy right now, and I think it's going to be good. I think you see that reflected in prices. I mean, again, beans over $10.70, corn at $4.14, wheat at $6. We hadn't seen those kind of numbers in a while. It was wrapping up, but we thought it was so popular that we're continuing into November and December through the end of the year. And I think we're about up to 110 million boxes now. And I call it a win-win-win program. Early on, when the president read the news about milk being dumped, produce being plowed under, but when restaurants closed, animals potentially being euthanized, then he said, what are we going to do about it? Our guys at USDA designed this program in about 3 weeks, which is a win-win-win. It preserved that food that had been produced. Nothing's more heartbreaking than a farmer to grow food and then have to destroy it. And so for the farmer, it was a gift. For the distributors, it was a win because they could put people back to work. Those trucks would fill up. They were the ones that were serving restaurants and colleges and schools that were no longer open. And then obviously the biggest win was the people who had lost their jobs or needed food for their families, and that was why I call it a win-win-win. It's a real trifecta. It's been very effective, and we're going to continue that through the end of the year.